It may come as a surprise to many South Africans that the role of your local ward councillor doesn't literally require them to get their hands dirty. In other words, they can't directly repair your streetlights. Rather, their job is to relay your concerns with the rest of the municipality so that the relevant departments can physically see to your needs. But more importantly, a councillor should be a resident of your ward. They have to be your go-to representative to ensure basic services eventually get seen to. We've roped in an electoral systems researcher to explain to us what a ward councillor actually does. Letlhogonolo Letshele is with the NGO My Vote Counts. Thank you so much for your time this morning, Letlhogonolo. So what are the day-to-day duties of a ward councillor?
Good morning, and thank you so much for having me. First and foremost, the role of the councillor is to be accountable to the community. And I think you're right by saying that they don't literally ensure the delivery of services, but they facilitate, the delivery of services, basic services such as water, sanitation, proper roads, and so forth. But this happens through speaking to sub-councils that can relay the information to the local municipality that can, provide the support that is needed.
Do you think the specific duties of ward councillors are maybe exaggerated and misunderstood by the people in the communities?
I don't think so, but I think maybe it could pertain to how they campaign. During now elections, they make promises that we can do this, we can do that. So I think the first mistake comes in there, promising housing, whereas you know that very well, and in your capacity as a local councillor, you cannot exactly do that. What you can do is relay information. You are there as a representative of the community. So your role is to relay the information in council where decisions are made. So you are able to prioritize certain things based on the community that you come from. For instance, if there is a clinic, that's, the community needs a clinic, the community needs a library. Through your participation in some council meetings and participation in the local council, local municipal council, you can say that these are the issues that are important to my community, and then the municipal council is the one that makes a decision based on the budget of that municipality.
How do you then hold a ward councillor accountable? If their duty is just to relay the issues within their community, you might get a situation where they keep coming back to the members of their community saying, listen, I've relayed the message, my hands are tied, I can't do anything. How do you hold them accountable?
It's very difficult to do so, but they have to be accountable to you. There's ward committees where certain sectors of communities, maybe sports, health, and whatever. They are the people that actually can hold the councillor accountable because they have meetings. Your councillor is supposed to meet the community at least once or twice a week. Through these meetings, they are there to listen and actually respond to issues, and then they relate to the information there. And that way, they can come back and say, "This, I have said this to the municipality. This is what they say." But also as residents, there's other avenues that we can explore in terms of getting our issues heard in municipal councils, participating in decision making at that level of the municipality, such as engaging in the IDP processes, engaging in the bylaws that are passed, engaging in annual budget as well. It's just being abreast with issues that are happening at local government.
Is it true that most of the ward councillors do this on a part-time basis?
Unfortunately, it appears so because they are unavailable. The reasons for that, I'm not too quite sure, but they are not available, and most of them don't live in the ward that represent. So that actually creates that disconnect whereby when you are looking for an urgent or immediate assistance from your local councillor, you cannot access them because they don't live in the same community. They tend to live elsewhere, so it's very difficult to get hold of them. They're supposed to have a physical office in the ward where you can actually go and knock and say, hey, these are the challenges that I'm having. How can you help? How can you relay my issues to the council? But unfortunately, because they don't reside in that community, is very difficult. The numbers are supposed to be public. The contact details, you need to know the house of the councillor, you need to know their telephone numbers and on how you can get hold of them. But unfortunately, this does not happen because it's hard to locate them.
How did we get into a situation where the ward councillors sometimes don't even live in the ward and don't have offices in the ward? How do we rectify that?
Look, there is no legislation that prohibits, people from living in a certain area. They get a salary, and naturally you'd want to live in a better, another place, affluent place. Not even better, but I think living where you want to live, because everybody has the right to live where they want to live. So there's no legislation around that to restrict them to live in that ward. So that's what happens when people move away. If maybe would have legislation to say that if you are a councillor in that particular ward and you represent that particular particular ward, then you must stay there. But unfortunately, at this moment, there is no legislative framework, that says that a councillor needs to live in the place that they represent.
All right, Letlhogonolo, thank you so much for your time. We appreciate it. Letlhogonolo Letshele, an electoral systems researcher at the NGO My Vote Counts. Thank